Hello. Right. Let's just jump right back into it. I think we left off at the end of our first white door. So we're on the way to probably our first actual ending. And we've got the route open to another route that's probably going to lead to another ending. Alright,
Damn it!
What's wrong?
I left something in the director's office.
What was it?
oh, it's the photo.
The picture. Ugh, how could I forget it?
Yeah, it's the photo of June. Oh yeah, we must have set it down after using the face recognition thing.
Yeah, I'm going back. You two go on ahead to the warehouse.
I want to come with you.
Me too.
Nah, that's fine. Why don't you head back to the warehouse, Sigma? The others are probably already waiting.
Alright. I'll see you two later then.
Right.
Bye, Mr. Sigma.
See you later, kid. I watched them jog off toward the blue door. And then they were gone. Guess I should be getting back then. Yeah, we're kind of under suspicion that Tenmuji might be Junpei from the first game. Since he has a photo of June. And he is much older than... Well, he's lived a life on the outside while everyone else was frozen in suspended animation, we assume. Seems very likely, based on the info we've got. Alright, how'd everyone else do? I stepped into the warehouse to find all the other teams already there. Kay and Luna, Fire and Clover, Asshole. The moment Dio spotted me, he dashed over to the rightmost AB rooms and slid his card through the reader. He just cannot fucking wait, can he? Didn't even confirm that we were all here first.
Ambidex gate has been opened. 45 minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
Yeah, we still don't know what the deal with the text on the floor B warehouse means yet. As he turned to look at me, I swore I saw a flash of a smug grin.
There. Happy? This time I waited for you to get back before I opened it.
Oh, fuck you, dude.
You see, I can be considerate.
But Tenmuji and Quark aren't here.
Yeah, where are they?
I guess they forgot something back in the room we found. They ran back to grab it really quick.
Be here in a few minutes. No big deal.
We assume. While we waited, we exchanged information about the rooms we'd investigated. Unfortunately, none of it seemed very useful. None of us had found anything. And we were no closer to unraveling any of the increasing number of mysteries we were faced with. With that discussion exhausted, we sat down to wait. Before long, 20 minutes had passed since Dio opened the door. Tenmuji and Quark were nowhere in sight.
Don't you think they're taking a little long?
Yes, I'm getting worried. What if something happened to them?
I'll go have a look.
Then I shall accompany you.
Okay, sure. We've not spent much time with Kay yet. I wonder if that's going to be on the leftmost branch. I think Kay, Dio, and Quark are the three that we've not really spent a massive amount of time with. I mean, Quark, it kind of makes sense because spends like the middle chunk of the game, or the timeline, I should say, unconscious in the infirmary.
Just don't look into the abyss too long, or you might become a monster.
I don't think, okay. Look, I'm just gonna go to the director's office. I'll be right back. No big deal. Right, see you guys later. Alright, which one of them's gonna be dead, one or both? I gave a quick goodbye wave and stepped out of the warehouse. Some fuckery's gonna have gone on if it's been 20 minutes. And then everyone's gonna think Sigma did it. Ugh. Director's office. Alright, wait for it. Who's gonna be dead? Is the picture still there? No, it's gone. Okay, so they did pick it up. Huh? That's odd. There's nobody here. The picture's gone though. Temuji and Quark must have been here. I laid out the floor B map. They must have taken the door that faces the warehouse. After that, they probably went through the warehouse and out the blue door to the elevator. Yeah, that's a much shorter route. On the other hand, I came through the red door, which is kind of the long way around. Huh? Looks like we managed to miss each other perfectly. Well, this was a huge waste of time. Shoot. Might as well head back, I suppose. I packed up the map I was headed towards the door when... Huh? There was a light on where there hadn't been a light before. Oh, yeah! Yeah, that wasn't the puzzle room and we didn't use it for anything. What? Why is that thing on? We messed with it earlier, but nothing seemed to work. I felt a sudden wave of inexplicable, nauseating dread. The light stared at me. I swallowed and edged cautiously towards it. Is it a teleport pad? That would be insane. The machine was in arm's reach now. I stretched my hand out towards it, slowly. So,
you finally made it.
Is that Snake? No. No, you're...
I am Zero.
Oh, fuck.
I was the one who brought you here. You undoubtedly have as many questions for me as there are stars in the sky.
This... What the fuck? This I was not expecting.
As you can see, however, this is only a recording. I will therefore be unable to directly answer any questions. Ask if you wish, but I cannot respond.
I considered taking a swing at him, but decided that was spectacularly futile, and kept my bald fist at my side.
Now, where to begin? There are many things I wish to tell you, but unfortunately, our time is limited. As such, the information I can provide is also limited. I have chosen two things of great importance to tell you. First, I will tell you about termites.
Okay. That was one of the entries in the secret file for this room.
In retrospect, I suppose that's a rather odd thing to say. I imagine you look rather bewildered right now. Perfectly understandable. The person who kidnapped you and threatened you with death is lecturing you about insects. I suspect it hardly seems fair. Nonetheless, this is very important. In a way, it will determine your fate. So I ask that you listen carefully. Have you ever seen a termite mound?
Not in person?
They are splendid structures. Some might even call them works of art. Termites are natural architects, and their mounds are both structurally sound and make excellent use of space.
Okay.
So, Are they following some sort of plan as they build? Are there termite blueprints detailing which room goes where? No, of course not. Each termite is simply an oblivious cog in a tremendous machine programmed by millions of years of termite DNA. It is doubtful an individual termite has any idea what its contributions are helping to create. But a human does. We can appreciate the elegant forms of their alien cathedrals. We can see the simple beauty of their perfect functionality. We can understand the splendid planning of their structure. In other words, only an intelligence of a higher order can understand the beauty of what the termite builds.
Okay. So how does that apply to this situation?
Now, consider humans. Why are we alive? Why do we love and give birth? Why do we create? From where do our cultures spring? There are many theories, but no one knows the truth. We are oblivious cogs in a tremendous machine programmed by millions of years of human DNA.
Okay.
No doubt you see now with this analogy it's able to demonstrate. Yes, I mean to say humans are not different from termites. We trudge through our lives with no greater understanding of our ultimate goal. You might say we don't understand what we're building. Only an intelligence of a higher order than ours can understand what we're doing. Imagine how we might look to such an intelligence. We may be building some structure so perfect and elegant, we can't even perceive it.
Okay.
Whatever it is, we've likely been building it on a dimension just above the ones we know since time immemorial. If we are like the termites, then what we've created is almost certainly something of tremendous beauty. And you are about to catch a glimpse of it. Or have you already? Well, that's enough on that subject, I think. Consider what I've said.
And the second thing?
Now, let's move on to the second topic. It is somewhat more immediately meaningful to your life, and in fact, the lives of several billion other people. I realize this is rather sudden, but I have a password for you.
Okay.
It is the password to disarm the bomb, numbered 1.
Oh, okay. Huh. Right, and then are we going to get... In each of the other white rooms, is there going to be one of these hologram projectors? That's going to give us the passwords for the other 2 bombs. Because he understands. He wouldn't be doing this unless he understood that someone going through the nonary game would have the ability to remember things from other timelines. Bomb?
Are you ready? I will only say this once, so pay close attention. The password to disarm the number 1 bomb is BQZ RGJ DXR.
Let's just take a snapshot of that, just to make sure we've got it. I had no idea what he was talking about. What bomb? Was he saying there were bombs too? If he'd guessed at my future confusion, he showed no sign of it.
That is the last of the information this message was meant to convey.
Cool, thanks, Zero.
Before I go, however, I have a warning. You cannot tell any of your companions what you heard or saw here.
Or?
You will be penalized
Okay.
immediately. I hope we will meet again someday. We would have much to discuss.
Wait. God damn it, you can't just spare all that crap and disappear. You can, because it's a recording. I found myself yelling at empty air. So did Tenmuji and Quark also see this? Or not? The hologram had disappeared. Ugh. kind of an idiot does he take me for? Termites? Other dimensions? How could that have anything to do with kidnapping us? Shit. I kicked out the nearby shelf.
10 minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes. All players, please enter your votes. If no vote is recorded before the deadline has passed, any non-voting parties will automatically ally.
Do we have an actual another vote? We do, okay. Ah, crap. I need to get back. Not like there's any point staying here. I spun around and ran out the room, towards the warehouse.
Grandpa! Look! Mr. Sigma's back!
Took you long enough.
Oh, shut up, Temuji. Shut up, Junpei. Where are the others?
In the AB rooms.
They went in already?
Yep.
Why didn't you two? Have you been waiting for me?
Yeah. Grandpa said there was something he had to tell you before we voted, no matter what.
Oh?
Nothing that significant. Just wanted to tell you we're going to choose ally this round.
Right, because I'm the solo, aren't I?
That's it.
And you had to tell me that no matter what? Seems kind of pointless. I mean, words are cheap. You can promise whatever you want.
True, but we've got something to back it up. Just hear me out.
Okay, go ahead.
Quark and I both have 8 BP. We're already on the home stretch. So what do we need to get to the magic number?
Fair. That is actually fair. They literally just need to grab 2.
Well, we need you to choose ally. If you do that, it doesn't really matter to us what we pick.
You get 9 whether you got 2 or 3 points.
Exactly. That being the case, we don't have any reason to betray you. And if we both choose ally, we both gain points.
True, but you must have considered that I'll choose betray. That would mean you choose betray to protect yourselves.
That's why we're telling you we won't choose betray.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Can I trust you?
Of course.
Alright, tell me one thing. Let's say we do this in both ally. Everybody gets 2 points. That means you and Quark will have enough to leave, which is great for you. But I'll be stuck with a measly 5. How do I know you aren't gonna just open the number 9 door and leave us in the lurch?
I can guarantee it.
How?
I can give you my word.
That's not a guarantee.
I will not open the number 9 door, even if I have enough points to do so. I swear it. We aren't going to abandon everybody else just so we can escape.
Okay, you're saying that, and you might be telling the truth, but what about Quark? Will he also not?
I swear too.
Okay, good boy.
I promise.
Man. So all you gotta do is promise, huh?
When I
All you got is a promise, huh?
I keep it. Trust me.
Please! You've got to trust us.
Alright, fine. I'll trust you.
2 minutes.
I do actually trust them, to be honest with you. At this point, I don't
Ambidex game
think they would.
closes.
Because I think Tenmuji knows what the fuck's going on outside. And isn't going to risk just going out by himself. Or at least with Quark. I think he's going to make sure everyone leaves.
We're counting on you, Sigma.
You've got to choose ally. You promised.
With that, they turned and ran into the AB room, second from the right. And now I have to guess which one of these hasn't already been taken. I guess I should get moving. He spends the next 5 minutes swiping all of the rooms to find the one that hasn't already been taken. No. No, we're always in that leftmost one.
1 minute remains.
Of course.
Ambidex game polling closes.
Can't do any of these without it being in the last fucking second. I had a decision to make. So I'm just gonna pour myself a drink. 2 seconds. Okay. Should I trust Quark and Tenmuji? Well, I could believe they were telling the truth and still betray them. That would bring my BP to 6. I'd be that much closer to 9. And choosing betray would guarantee that they wouldn't try and escape without the rest of us. Betrayal seemed like the safe bet, but
Please! Gotta trust us! You've gotta choose ally!
oh, that's nice.
You promised!
Tenmuji I could betray easily enough, but Quark? Wow, even Sigma's holding a grudge against Tenmuji still. What the hell was I gonna do?
10 seconds remain until Ambidex game polling closes. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We don't have to wait until the last fucking second every time, ally. Vote has been recorded. Please wait.
Round 3 of the Ambidex game has been completed. Results will be displayed in the warehouse. Thank you for your participation. Ambidex gates now opening.
Was anyone else close to the 9 points? Oh, pardon me.
Results from round 3 of the Ambidex game will now be displayed. Please direct your attention to the results screen.
Betray, of course. Motherfuckers! What the actual... Sons of bitches! What the fuck? Oh! Clover also has enough points to leave as well now.
Points have been assigned or subtracted accordingly. Please check your bracelet to see your updated bracelet points.
I bet if we jump over to this one, they allied and I betray. And then they have a go at me for betraying them. What the fuck? What the hell, guys? Why'd you betray me?
Quark had nothing to do with this. I made the vote.
Grandpa.
Alright, fine. Why'd you break your promise, Tenmuji?
I only promised you one thing. We wouldn't open the number 9 door, even if we got 9 points.
God, fuck you, dude. What? So, you're not gonna leave?
Not what I said. Of course we're going to leave.
What?
Look, see Clover over there?
He teamed up with her. Motherfuck. What? Don't tell me. Of course. The moment anybody gets enough points in this game, they're just immediately at the door.
Oh no.
Jeez.
That bitch!
Wait. Quark and Tenmyoji have...
The words were barely out of her mouth when Tenmuji and Quark ran past.
No! God damn it!
Clover,
They fucking teamed up. God damn it.
are you really going to leave?
Well, else would I open the door?
But why?
I'm going to go call the others, so we can capture Zero Senior.
Tenmyoji, are you and Quark going too?
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Sorry, everybody.
So, Sigma, happy? I kept my promise.
Fuck you.
Clover opened the door, not me.
Like hell I'm happy. That's some shady shit, Tenmyoji.
You say so. I have to get out of here, and that's that.
God damn it, every single fucking person.
He's gotta pay for what he's done.
I think Luna is the... Has anyone else not done it? I think it's just Luna at this point that hasn't made an immediate beeline for the door. And Alice, I think. Although she absolutely would.
Here? Zero.
You mean you know who Zero Senior is?
Yeah. No point keeping it a secret now, I suppose. I know exactly who Zero Senior is.
What?
Was that actually Snake?
The number 9 door has been opened. It will remain open for 9 seconds.
Let's go. Come on, guys. Time to move.
Right.
Oh, wait! This is for you, Mr. Sigma.
Quark held something out. I looked down to see 2 pieces of folded paper. What is this?
It's a letter. I wrote it in the director's office before the AB game. I wanted to tell you what kind of guy Grandpa is.
I don't fucking care. He just betrayed us.
So, read it, okay?
He pressed it into my hand.
See you later, Mr. Sigma.
Will you see me again later? Then he turned and ran towards the door, Tenmyoji and Clover following in his footsteps. I was so surprised by the letter that I didn't even try to stop them. Before I could think of anything to say.
See you.
Goodbye.
Fuck you, old man. Fuck you too, Clover. God, everyone... Just literally, the moment anybody gets the points, it's straight towards the door. Like, Fi is the only person we've managed to convince not to just immediately bail out.
The number 9 door has closed.
And Sigma's the only person that anyone's actually managed to stop from opening it.
This ends the nonary game. Thank you for your participation. As the game is over, all doors other than the number 9 door have been unlocked. Escape is not possible. Please enjoy your stay.
Shit! They're gone.
All we can do now is hope they bring help back.
They won't.
Indeed.
I agree.
I looked down at Quark's letter and slowly unfolded it. His handwriting was still slightly uneven, but he'd filled both pages with writing. I began to read. It was a really stormy day when he found me. He said the rain was coming down hard. Oh, coming down so hard it almost hurt, but somehow he managed to hear a baby crying. I guess I must have been crying pretty loud, so not actually blood related. Okay. He took me home and did his best to raise me, but he'd never been married or had a kid before, so I think it was really hard for him. He couldn't figure out how to mix the formula, so he was always carrying the directions around with him. Also, I guess I was pretty picky eater, so if he didn't get the water to formula ratio right, I wouldn't eat it. I guess I was kind of a pain, huh? But he didn't give up, and now here I am. When he found me, I was really, really small, and he was worried that I might not make it. That's why he named me Quark. A quark is a really, really small thing, and I was really, really small too. Grandpa didn't need to worry though, because it turned out that I was pretty tough. When I was 1, he forgot I was sleeping in the bed of his truck and drove off. I rolled out and went off the back, but I didn't even get scratched. Jesus fucking Christ. 10 Eugene. I started walking when I was 2, and when he wasn't looking, I fell down the stairs. Jesus, I didn't get hurt then either. When I was 3, I got really sick. I had a super high fever for a week, but I eventually got better. I guess you could say I'm pretty lucky. Anyway, I didn't really have any more accidents after that, and I was a pretty healthy kid. By the time I was 6, I'd started helping Grandpa out with his work. His job was to gather junk from abandoned buildings. Then he'd fix it up or pull out the useful parts and sell them. I assume this is post-pandemic has wiped out most of the world. So he's just going around scavenging whatever. There were plenty of abandoned buildings, but finding good stuff in them was hard. You had to know which parts were useful, or you could end up wasting a bunch of time. Every time I'd find something, he'd explain to me what it was, how it was supposed to work, how to fix it, all sorts of things. Eventually, though, I just wanted to finish up work so I could go to the theater. The theater came to our town once a week in a wagon. They'd show old news or movies. I went every single week, but Grandpa only went once in a while, and he'd only go weeks when they showed movies. Oh yeah, I didn't know that I'd been adopted until I was 7. One of the other kids in my block told me. I guess after Grandpa found me, he looked all over town to try and find somebody who'd take me. The kid from my block actually had a mom, and he'd asked her if she would take me too. I gotta admit, I was pretty shocked when I heard that. There weren't a lot of kids with parents around, so hearing that somebody lived with his actual mom was pretty impressive. I was also kind of surprised that Grandpa had tried to get someone else to take me. Did that mean he didn't want me? The kid who told me about Grandpa trying to get rid of me was a real jerk. He was totally spoiled and he'd brag to everybody about how he had a mom. He liked to come up to me while I was working and say stuff like, "Must be hard not having a mother." Jesus Christ, this kid. It had never bothered me before, but after I found out that Grandpa had adopted me, I started to think that maybe he didn't really want me. If I could work on my own, then maybe he could get rid of me. I was scared to know the truth, so I never asked him. Then one day, he took me to a bar in our neighborhood. During the day, of course. He went there sometimes to drink scotch, but I'd never gone before. When we got in, he just walked to the counter and with a grumpy nod, with that grumpy look he has, and I thought, oh no, he's going to make me work here. But I was wrong. I saw him pass something to the bartender, and then he picked me up and sat me down on a stool next to the counter. The stool was pretty high, especially for a 7-year-old kid, and my legs just dangled off of it. It seemed really, really high to me, and I was pretty nervous. Oh, the ice cream float. Yes, this was in the secret files as well. It all comes together. Doesn't matter how weird the entries in the secret files are. Whatever it is going to show up not too long later. Eventually, the bartender came back over with a glass of scotch and another big glass full of something else. As I looked closer, I realized that the second glass was full of some sort of brown liquid with a scoop of ice cream in it. It took me a minute to realize what it was. A root beer float. I'd never seen one before. I was so surprised. Root beer was even more expensive than the nicest alcohol in the bar. To me and the other kids, it seemed like an urban legend. It seemed more like an urban legend than a real drink. But there it was, right in front of me. I stared at the float. I still wasn't sure if it was real at that point, and then turned to look at Grandpa. He looked back at me. I didn't know what to do, so I turned to the bartender. He'd already turned around and moved off, though, so I figured he must have put the glass down in front of me on purpose. It still didn't seem like it could be real. and I was just staring at it when Grandpa told me to hurry up and drink it before the ice cream melted. His gruff voice sounded like an angel's. Is this really mine? He nodded. Words can't describe how awesome it was. I'd never tasted anything like root beer before. You know what? I've actually never had root beer myself. Never tried it. The creamy sweetness of the ice cream made my entire head feel light. I felt like the luckiest boy in the world. And that's not an exaggeration. I really thought that. The root beer float was delicious, but what made me even happier was Grandpa. When I looked over at him, he was smiling. I know that's got to be hard for you to imagine, but he really was. Right then, I didn't care whether he found me, whether he just found me and adopted me or not. He bought me a root beer float. That made me way luckier than some kid who had a mother, but never had a tasted root beer. Of course, after we left the bar, he was the first kid I bragged to. So Grandpa and I were doing pretty good. Until the fight. I was in a super bad mood that day. I had torn one of my shoes that morning, and some old drunk guy had yelled at me. All the junk I found was totally useless. The day was almost over and I was fed up, so I just grabbed some random trash and took it back to the house. When I showed what I'd found to Grandpa, he frowned. He started going through each thing I'd brought back, explaining why they were all useless. I got really mad and just yelled, "I don't care." Then he got mad and I couldn't take it anymore, so I ran away. I was pretty upset and started thinking that maybe Grandpa had only adopted me so he could raise me to work and make money for him. After a while, I went and hid in an abandoned building, but by then I'd started to calm down and think that maybe I should go back and apologize. It had started raining pretty hard though, so I decided I should wait for it to stop. But that was just an excuse. Truth was, I was nervous. Part of me knew I'd done something wrong, but I didn't want to admit it. The rain didn't stop though, so I just sat there staring out at the gloomy grey sky. I imagined Grandpa coming to get me. It kept raining all night, and he never showed up. I gave up waiting and decided it was time to go home. I was about halfway there when I heard somebody groaning. At first I thought I should just ignore it and not get involved, but I went over anyway, and it was Grandpa. He was totally soaked, and I could tell right away that he'd been there for a really long time. I yelled, and he opened his eyes a little bit. He smiled weakly and said he was glad I was safe. He'd spent all night out in the rain looking for me. I felt awful. Grandpa had been out in the rain looking for me so long that he collapsed. I was horrible. He'd heard me crying in the rain, but I hadn't heard him. As I ran to get the doctor, I promised whatever god might be listening that if they would only save Grandpa, I'd never ask for another root beer float again. He got a really bad fever and his temperature wouldn't go down for days. The doctor said that if it kept up, he'd die. If he died, then I'd be all alone. There wouldn't be anybody left to care about me. The thought of that happening terrified me. Fortunately, I must have passed some of my luck on to Grandpa, because a week later his fever finally broke. I was glad that he wasn't going to die, but I was also a little scared. What if he had decided he didn't want a stupid kid like me around anymore? My plan was to apologize as soon as he woke up, but when the moment came, my brain just stopped. Grandpa started to talk, and it took me a minute to realize he was apologizing. I didn't know what to think. We're using a shot there game. He explained that he was an old man and that he was probably going to die sooner rather than later. He was strict with me because he wanted to make sure I'd be able to make it on my own after he was gone, but maybe he'd been a little too strict. All of the things I'd worried about had been stupid and selfish. Grandpa cared about me a whole lot, and he'd been worried when I ran off. and he'd gone out into the rain to look for me. I really should have used Quark's voice for this instead of continued on this stigma, but no, well. I tried to apologize, and when I opened my mouth, I just started crying. I didn't think I'd cried that much since I was a baby. But he just smiled and patted my head. I asked him if he'd ever regretted adopting me. His eyes got all wide and he said, "Of course not." He told me that he was looking for a really important lady, and because of that, he had to give up on pretty much everything else in his life. But when he took me in and started raising me, he felt like he'd gotten something of what he'd lost back. So he was looking for June. If this is Junpei, which I assume it is. Busy looking for June. Was June the old lady? The one he got really moody about? When she showed up dead? Would he even know if he hadn't found her in all that time? What she'd look like as an old lady? I can't think who else that old lady would be if... Yeah. That was when I had decided to stay with him forever. Even if he said I couldn't. I think this is going to be credits. Yeah, okay. First actual ending. Get myself another drink. Ooh, that was way too much booze. Okay. Yeah, actual proper ending. Holy crap. Mars Mission Operator, 03, 0 Senior. Oh, they're not going to give anything away in there. Can I skip this? No, I can't skip this. Oh, seriously? We have to watch the entire... Oh my god, we do. We have to go through the entire credits. Oh god, there's 9 endings. I hope we don't have to do this for every single one of them. Ugh. Yeah, so we just got born there. I guess this counts as a proper ending because we got a sad little extra thing afterwards. Some more backstory. Rather than it just being a everything sucks type situation. I wonder if there'll be a little epilogue to this ending specifically. Any of the real proper endings that count on the save file screen. If we get little epilogues to them. Because the actual result of this ending isn't that much different to some of the bad endings we've got. It's somebody leaves. We're all trapped at the end. I wonder if there's any information in this ending that's actually going to be useful for opening a lock. I guess just the I was going to say the password to disable the first bomb, but that was before the branching point, so... Oh well. Well, we'll jump back and we'll do the betray ending. That's the Tenmuji ending. Okay. Okay, we get backstory. Oh, there's going to be 1. Oh, that's why there's 9. 1 for each character. Gotcha. Yeah, okay. Okay. God, fuck you, old man. Right. It's time for me to screw you over this time. Which I assume means we get the Clover ending?
1 minute.
Or it's just going to be another bad end?
Game polling closed. Results from round 3 of the Ambidex game will now be displayed. Please direct your attention to the results screen.
Yeah. Yeah. Ha! Fuck you, old man. I guess it's just Clover leaving this time. I didn't trust you, shit. Oh, actually, can we take a look at the floor chart? No, none of the, yeah, we need to know who planted the bombs first. No, okay. Okay.
Points have been assigned or subtracted accordingly. Please check your bracelet to see your updated bracelet points.
Oh, poor Kay. He was the only person. He was the only decent person this round. Hey, what's the deal?
Quark had nothing to do with it. I entered the vote.
So why'd you choose betray?
Couldn't I ask you the same thing?
'Cause I didn't fucking trust you. Turns out I was right, huh?
I don't really think this is the time for a fight, though. Look, Clover's over by the door.
What? Oh no. I think this is just going to be another bad ending, same as it was when she escaped last time. I think Clover's ending is going to come at the end of a route in which Alice is alive. I think it's going to be Alice and Clover escaping together.
Fuck, she opened it.
Why? Clover, wait!
Just speculating. Clover, what the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm going to call the others.
What?
I'll get justice for Alice.
Justice? Wait, do you mean?
The number 9 door has been opened. It will remain open for 9 seconds.
Okay, there's a third game after this, and if the world is fucked due to a viral apocalypse, like, I don't know what that third game's gonna be.
Time for me to go. No! Please, Clover, wait!
Like hell, I'm just gonna let you walk out of here.
Well, if we don't let her leave, then nobody gets out and we're all fucked. Like, the moment the doors open, we have to let whoever is leaving actually leave. It's kind of a shitty situation, but it is what it is. Dio leapt at Clover, his fists raised. Clover easily avoided him and moved towards the door.
Goodbye.
I caught one last glimpse of her face as she slid through the door. It was a mask of ice. Bye, Clover.
The number 9 door has closed. This ends the nonary game. Thank you for your participation. As the game is over, all doors other than the number 9 door have been unlocked. Escape is not possible. Please enjoy your stay.
Until the bombs blow up. But those don't The bombs don't seem to be, I don't think they're part of Zero's plan. Right. That played out pretty much exactly as I thought it was going to. Which means, now that we've done that, we can jump over to this one over here. So this was the timeline in which, let's double check. I wish there was like a little notes thing that just says like in these text boxes, I wish there was a thing that just kind of like gave like a little summary of just like you found the number 2 bomb here, you found the number 3 bomb here, you have 1 vial of whatever the antivirus is, Alice is alive, Alice is dead, like that kind of situation. Because you jump in between timelines, and depending how you do it, stuff could be like wildly different, and you kind of have to try and remember like what led up to this specific route. So in this one, we went through the blue door. It was the crew quarters with Alice and Phi. AB game round 1. We allied, Alice betrayed. Into the CDs, chromatic doors. We picked the blue door, which I can't remember who that was with. Garden, that was me, Luna, and Phi, I think. B Garden escape. Quark's infected, Alice is infected. And we now have the knowledge. We have one of the antivirals. We now know from the other timeline that we can duplicate it using the device in the lab room.
All right, please pay attention, everyone. You need to hear this. The Atom has finished scanning Alice.
What did it say?
Her results are identical to Quark's. She has also been infected with Radical 6.
On our way back, Phi had gone off to retrieve the rest of the participants. 7 sets of eyes widened as Luna spoke.
Oh no.
Again, that should only be 6 sets of eyes. I don't know why Luna's eyes would also be widening.
No! What's going to happen to her? Well, like I said before, there's only one way to cure Radical 6. There's a special antiviral treatment. Do you know what immunoglobulin is?
Immunogoblin?
It's another name for antibodies. Some people have antibodies that can fight off Radical 6. Those antibodies are the basis for Accelavir.
When is Luna from? I know she's a medical student, she knows a lot about medicine and stuff, but the fact that she knows specifically about Accelavir, which is supposed to become way after like the virus has already hit the world at large, makes me think that she didn't get picked up in 2028 like the rest of us did. I think she's from later as well. That just kind of hit me there. Is that she knows a little bit too much about Radical 6. Wait, what about those pods in the treatment center? Yes, this is the... We didn't do the treatment center, but this treatment center is open. Which room did we do? We did the garden. AB garden. The B garden.
Right. I thought of that too, so I went and took a closer look at them. Unfortunately...
They can't cure it.
Correct. They can suppress the symptoms for a while, but they can't kill the virus itself. The only way we can help Alice and Quark is if we can find some Excelivir.
But the pods will keep them from getting any worse, right?
Yes.
Well, then what are we waiting for? One of you, grab Alice. We're going to the treatment center.
As he spoke, Tenmuji moved over to Quark and lifted his small, unconscious body off the bed. Quark shifted slightly as Tenmuji moved him, and something fell out of his pocket with a soft clink. I bent down slowly and picked it up. Is this medicine?
What?
Well, what is it?
Hold on. There's a name on the label here. Exav...
Excelivir! You found it, Sigma! That's the one thing that can cure Radical 6.
Why did Quark have it?
Perhaps he found it earlier.
Earlier when?
We explored the laboratory. It was on the other side of the red door. I happened to notice Quark putting something in his pocket.
He hid it?
Whether or not that was his intention is unclear.
It was in the safe in the laboratory, so he must... Did he open the safe?
I did not have the opportunity to ask, as he collapsed immediately afterwards. It didn't feel appropriate to go digging around in his pockets for it after that. And to be honest, it had also slipped my mind.
Okay, I did have an idea. I think I did mention it on one of the previous streams, that maybe K was Snake, as a joke. But also I kind of like, as like a maybe though? But if Snake is Zero Senior, Zero Senior certainly looks like an older Snake, so I genuinely don't know who K is anymore.
We were rather preoccupied with getting him to the infirmary as quickly as possible.
Who cares about the details? We have it. Hurry up and give it to him, Luna.
Hey, hold on a minute. What about Alice?
Does it really matter if she goes first or not?
I'm sorry, but I don't think we can do that.
What?
There's only enough here for one person. The only way we have to administer this is...
Again, how does she know it's just enough for one person? Luna, who are you really?
And the way it functions, it uses a whole bottle each time you pull the trigger.
Oh, she's talking about the injection gun rather than... Okay.
In other words, we can't split the dose in two or something.
Right.
While we all stood stunned, Vi moved. Stepping over to Quark, she quickly ran her hands through his clothes, then stepped back with a frown and a small shake of her head.
Nothing.
Fair. To be honest, fair. If Quark already had pocketed one dose of the Excelivir, then it's always worth checking to see if he had a second.
That one bottle was it.
Do you think there might be some more back in the laboratory?
No, unfortunately not.
No.
Oh, God.
Just enough medicine for one dose.
Only one person can be saved.
Who should we give it to?
Alice or Quark?
What the hell is this? There's no way we're only going to save one of them.
What are we going to do?
Do I have to spell it out? We're going to save them both.
How?
That's, I needed to calm down. Think. There had to be some way to save both of them. It was there, I knew it. Ig equals immunoglobulin.
Do you know what immunoglobulin is? It's another name for antibodies. Some people have antibodies that can fight off Radical 6.
Oh, did I actually have to get that card from somewhere as well? Why did I even see that card? God, I don't even remember. Was that in the lab or was that on a different route? IG Replicator.
Replicator makes it sound like it makes copies of stuff.
So it's like a copy machine.
Probably copies IG, whatever that is.
Any ideas?
Who knows? Ice cream by the gallon?
That's it. I've got it. The IG replicator in the laboratory. It's an immunoglobulin replicator machine.
What?
If I told you, you had a nice antibody, would you hold it against me? It can copy immunoglobulins. Immunoglobulins. Antibodies. Luna just said Accelavir is made from antibodies. That means we can make more Accelavir.
Hold on a moment. There is a strange device in the laboratory that says IG replicator on it. Clover and I examined it thoroughly when we were in that room.
Yeah. We never could figure out what it did, though.
Exactly. My question is, how do you know about it, Sigma?
I saw it when I was in the laboratory.
When was that?
Probably when you were looking for Alice, right?
No. Dio was wrong. I hadn't gone to the laboratory when I was looking for Alice. I didn't think I'd ever been to the laboratory. So how did I know about the IG replicator?
If what he's saying is true, then we should be able to duplicate the Accelavir. That would mean we could cure Alice and Quark.
Let's go have a look then. The laboratory, right?
Yeah, no time to waste.
We all nodded. Wait, we can't leave them here all alone. Luna, do you think you could stay behind and look after them?
Oh, of course. I'd be happy to.
Alright then, let's go. Oh, pardon me. Oh, dear Lord, I'm sorry. Pardon me. I'm a gassy boy. There it is.
So this is the lab, huh?
Yes.
Where's this IG replicator thing?
Right here. See?
So this can copy the Accelavir?
I think so.
What are we waiting for?
Calm down, alright? Don't rush me. I carefully lowered the small vial of Accelavir into the slot in the side of the machine. An empty vial already protruded on the other side. Presumably, that was where the duplicated Accelavir would go. Ready? When I push this button, it should...
Skip it. Just press the damn thing.
Right. And pressed. Damn, that machine sounds crazy. Did it work?
Have a look. The empty vial has something in it now.
And the vial Sigma used remains as it was. It does not seem to have lost any of its contents.
So, it worked?
Would have been pretty bad if it hadn't.
Alright, let's get this thing back to the infirmary. I reached down and pulled both vials from the machine, intending to slip them deftly into my pockets. Ah, shit.
What happened?
Sorry. My hand slipped.
You dropped one of them?
Are you fucking kidding? Yeah. Just one, though.
What the hell? What if you'd broken it, you idiot?
Come on. If I'd broken it, then we would have just made another copy. Before Temuja could reply, Fi spoke.
Guys?
I was surprised to hear her voice coming from near my feet. I looked down to see her staring intently at something beneath the table.
You see? It did break!
No, the vial's fine. See?
She held it up in one hand, but didn't move her eyes.
Then what the heck is going on down there?
What is going on down there? The other bomb!
Take a look.
She slid back from the table quickly and silently. The rest of us bent down to look. The number 2 bomb! A bomb?
Whoa. Really? That makes 2 then.
Guess Kay was right after all.
So there were more bombs.
So it would seem.
Was this here when you guys came through the first time?
No, it was not.
Yeah, I didn't see anything, and I looked real hard.
Then somebody must have said it while we were looking for Alice.
Who the hell would do that?
We were all out looking for Alice. It could have been any one of us.
No, not any of us. I was back in the infirmary. Quark was still out, so I was keeping an eye on him.
Oh, and everybody thinks we came to the lab. So everyone's going to think we planted it.
So we shouldn't consider you a suspect. Is that right?
Yeah, Quark's off the list too.
But Tenmyoji, you have no proof that you spent the entire time in the infirmary, do you?
What?
You could have quietly made your way to the laboratory, planted the bomb.
That's insane! Listen to yourself! There's no way in hell I'd have left Quark all by himself to go plant a goddamn bomb!
Tenmyoji was still staring furiously at Kay when Clover spoke up.
Hey, what's this thing?
I turned in time to see her grab something from under the table.
It looks like a memory card.
Where was it?
Right under the bomb. It was down on the floor under the table.
Could it have been put here by the same person who set the bomb? There was nothing like it here when we examined this room.
Do you think they dropped it Do you think they dropped it accidentally?
Unless it was left here intentionally, yes. I imagine so.
What do you think's on it?
Let's take a look. Could I see it for a minute?
Yeah, I guess so.
I plucked the card out of her hand and looked around the room. Nothing. Shoot. No dice. We'll need to plug it into something that can read memory cards, but I don't see anything here.
So what do we do?
Go to the infirmary. Come on, if I knew I'd be doing it.
10 minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes. All players, please enter your votes. If no vote is recorded before the deadline has passed, any non-voting parties will automatically ally.
Guys, I think maybe we should get back to the top floor.
Yeah, you're right. We've got what we came here for.
What should we do about the, bomb?
Nothing we can do about it.
Not much we can do except leave it here. Alice said it'd be dangerous to touch them.
True, but
Drop it. We can talk about the bombs later. Right now we need to take care of Alice and Quark.
Right. So we'll just go back to the infirmary, give them the Excelsior, then head to the Floor A warehouse.
Right. This ought to do it. It might take a little while, but they should recover.
Her voice was quiet as she backed away from Alice and Quark. In her hand was the injection gun. She carefully removed the empty vial and placed it gently in the cabinet with the other one. While we were in the laboratory, Luna had moved Quark to her crew cot. They both looked peaceful as they slept. The madness I had seen on their faces before was completely gone.
Are they really going to be all right?
Yes. The analysis I did on the vials confirmed that the duplicate was real Excelsior. The original was genuine too, of course. Now that they've been treated,
It's only a matter of time before the virus is eliminated.
I believe so, yes. Oh man, what a relief. I was really worried.
God, we better hope nobody else is infected. Clover grinned. Agreed. I gave her a reassuring pat on the back.
5 minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
Yeah, we should kind of sort that out.
All right, everybody. We can be relieved later. Right now, we need to get to the AB rooms and fast.
Damn. Don't even have time to catch our breath.
Come on, let's go. The Floor A warehouse is waiting. Who am I up against? I think it's Phi. I think it's me and Clover against Phi. Huh? Where's Temuji?
Oh, he stayed back in the infirmary.
What?
Why?
Well, when we were all heading out, I noticed he wasn't doing anything. So I asked him if he was coming with us. And this is what I got.
I'm still worried about Quark and Alice. I think I'll stick around and make sure they're okay.
I see. That means that Phi's only opponent will be Dio.
One-on-one, huh?
Ugh.
Okay, so who are we against then if it wasn't... Was Alice our opponent?
That's cool.
I genuinely forget who we... This is why we need the little reminder things.
Nothing to worry about. I plan to choose Ally. You know why?
Because I've only got one BP.
Exactly. If you chose Ally and I betrayed you, your BP would drop below 0 and... well, we know what happens then. I want to win, but I'm not that desperate. You see what I'm saying, right?
Tenmyoji and Dio are a pair. Tenmyoji only had one BP left. Since Dio said he's going to pick Ally, Phi can't really pick anything else. If she does, Tenmyoji will...
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Ooh, that's actually a really bad situation for them.
Right?
That's like actually legit bad.
Since Quark's still sleeping...
That is correct.
How many BP do you guys have?
I've got 6.
As do I.
This will be a tough one then.
If one of them can get the other to ally, and then betray that person, the betrayer will have 9 points. Look, Kay, I know you don't really have any reason to trust me, but...
I know. You would like us both to vote ally, yes?
Yeah.
I agree. If we were to both betray, then we would gain no points. We would lose nothing either, but that's hardly relevant. If both of us cooperate, then we will both gain 2 points, which is much more beneficial.
Right. Okay, good. You're really gonna do it, right?
Yes,
Promise?
promise.
1 minute remains until Ambidex game polling closes.
Shit, this is bad. We need to move, now!
Indeed. Shall we?
DOK, Phi, and Clover all took off immediately, heading towards different AB rooms. Counting from the left, Dio went in room 3, K went into room 4, Phi and Clover went into rooms 5 and 6 respectively. I don't know why they bother telling us which people go into what rooms. I don't think it makes too much of a difference to us. That left Luna and myself. What do you think about taking the one on the far left?
Sounds good.
Because that's the one we take every single time. Are we going to find a dead body? Are we going to find the old lady? June, question mark. With that settled, we headed into the AB room number 1. Nope. No dead body. Right, I'm actually going to take a quick bathroom break. Won't be too long. Okay, I'm back. Right, let's play another AB game. And what's Luna gonna try and goad me to doing?
30 seconds remain until Ambidex game polling.
I think in most of the games she's got an ally, so so far she has been a very honorable player.
It's probably a little late to say this, but you know Alice is still in the infirmary. So,
Right, yeah, she's defaulting to ally no matter what. So it's just a matter of whatever we want. Since Alice is going to default to that anyway. I know. It's not really fair to betray somebody who isn't voting. Luna's face broke into a warm, happy smile. Not to be sappy, but it was like a ray of sunshine on a cloudy day. I grinned back at her before I knew what I was doing. For a minute, the nunnery game didn't seem so scary.
10 seconds remain.
Wow, yeah, this is the first time we've actually gone up against somebody who's not voting. So we have kind of a guarantee here.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Which is interesting if you look at the floor chart, because the ally route is like the
Ambidex game has been completed.
short one, and then the betray is like way longer. So that's going to be an interesting one to take a look at. I don't know what our current point score is.
Results will be displayed in the warehouse.
If I look, I can figure it out though, can't I? So the first AB game we allied, so we're at 1 point. Yeah, we've got 1 point. Okay.
Thank you for your participation. Ambidex gates now opening.
So if we betray, it's not us. Escaping. Or trying to escape. Because we won't have anywhere near enough points. I wonder if this gives Alice enough points to escape. What's she at? She started with 3. No, it should be 1 short. She's 1 point short. Luna and I stepped out of the AB room. Alright, let's go have a look at the results.
okay.
Results from round 2 of the Ambidex game will now be displayed.
Unless Alice woke up within like a minute or so, ran to the AB room and then picked betray.
Please direct your attention to the results screen.
That would be insane. Betray. Betray, betray. Ally. She did! She woke up! She did wake up! Oh my god! Alice!
Points have been assigned or subtracted accordingly.
What the fuck?
Check your bracelet.
Also, if we betray
Updated bracelet points.
on the other side, then it's like everybody's betrayed. Nobody trusts anyone. I'm -1. Oh my god, I'm -1. I didn't even realize. I didn't even think of that. What? It wasn't possible. I blinked, rubbed my eyes, and looked again. I didn't even see the -1. Jesus. I was too busy looking at Alice's 9 and everybody else's +0. No, that's not possible. Also, fuck Alice for killing us. For killing me then. Oh, is this going to be another lockout point where we're trying to figure out how to stop the poison? How can Alice's vote be betray? It was a question I would never know the answer to. There was a sharp, quick pain in my wrist, barely even noticeable. I couldn't feel anything flowing into my veins, but I knew it was there. First would be the anesthetic, Soperil. I blinked and my vision started to blur. When I tried to think, it felt like my mind had been stuffed with cotton. My legs began to wobble, and I gave out entirely as I crumpled to the floor.
Sigma! Sigma! Hang on! Oh no! Sigma! Get up!
Sigma!
Sigma!
No. Why?
My eyelids felt like they were made of lead, but I forced them to stay open. And opened by the number 9 door, there's Alice fucking swiping a card immediately. Swiping a bracelet. I bet. Everything was growing blurry, but I noticed that the door of the second AB room was open. No one had gone into that room. I'd watched them all. And yet, there she stood, an apparition that couldn't possibly be real. Fucking Alice. Alice. So this is a timeline in which she's betrayed us twice. The world was gradually going black. My mouth refused to form words, but my head echoed with questions. How? Why? What was she doing there? Had she run at the last moment after Luna and I entered our room? But even if she had, why choose betray? Then the darkness closed over my mind as well. My questions were gone forever. Fuck, Alice! Alice! Really? Did she get super desperate after waking up? Having just recovered from Radical 6. God damn. I did totally call that happening as well just before it did. My god, okay. Oh yeah, we have this entire branch left to do. Fuck. Okay. Back to the decision point. We're not gonna let Alice have her way. We can skip all this. Betray. Fuck you, Alice. Yeah, the door is open there, isn't it? Huh. Luna and I stepped out of the AB room.
Why? What happened to... It's not fair to betray someone who isn't voting.
You'll see, Luna. Just give me a minute.
I thought...
Just bear with me. There was nothing I could think of to say. Even I didn't really understand why I'd picked betray instead. It had almost felt unconscious, like some other part of my mind was making the decision. Perhaps I'd been possessed by some sort of evil spirit that had moved my finger to the betray button against my will. Right, well, we should go see the results.
We already know what they are. It's just simple math.
Luna, hang on, just bear with me. The look in her eyes was more painful than any punch I'd ever taken. I turned away and almost ran towards the projector, anything to get away from those eyes.
Results from round 2 of the Ambidex game will now be displayed. Please direct your attention to the results screen.
Betray, 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 betray. Fuck you, Alice. Yep. Fucked.
Points have been assigned or subtracted accordingly. Please check your bracelet to see your updated bracelet points.
It's exactly the same as it was. What? It wasn't possible. I blinked, rubbed my eyes, and looked again. No. How can Alice's vote be betray? That's not possible. Alice? There she was, standing inside the second room from the left. The room that should have been empty. Why? My mind was still reeling. Where'd she come from? Where did she go? Where did she come from, Cat Eye Joe? As I was trying to form her a sentence, she began to move towards us. From around me I heard a chorus of muted gasps. It seemed we were united in our surprise and confusion. Alice drew to a stop in front of me and glanced up at the display.
Thought you'd get an easy couple points, huh? Not so easy when you have to look your victim in the eye, is it?
Fuck you! You literally just killed us in another timeline. Oh, fuck off. Me, a coward? You got some balls saying that to me after you picked Betray. Why are you even here?
You gave me the antivirus, didn't you? Tenmyoji told me. Thank you. I mean that from the bottom of my heart, honestly.
But you should still be under the effects of the anesthetic.
Yes, well, I still am. A bit. I have a throbbing headache, and I can barely stand. It's horrible. I'm more resistant to anesthetics than most people. A result of my training. I have a feeling Zero Senior knew that. They gave me way more than the standard dose of that gas when they kidnapped me. In any event, a few minutes ago I woke up in the infirmary. Tenmyoji explained what was going on, and I got here as fast as I could.
So you showed up right after we got into the AB room?
Yes. Right in the nick of time, too. About 10 seconds before the deadline, as I recall.
You did that just so you could betray us?
Right. What? Don't I get to do that? I mean, it turned out to be the right thing to do, didn't it?
No, me picking Betray was the right thing to do because you fucking murdered me.
You two chose Betray. If I'd stayed back there, I'd have lost 2 points.
So you're saying it was self-defense?
Yes.
You're full of shit. Self-defense my ass. You chose Betray because you wanted out. You had 6 BP. If I'd picked Ally, you'd have had 9. That's what you were trying to do, right?
So what if I was?
Are you serious? You would have killed me. Look, I only have 1 BP. You were this close to murdering me. Just admit it. You were planning to kill me so you could escape.
Don't be stupid. I knew you'd choose Betray. There was...
Tell me the truth.
That is the truth.
Bullshit. I fucking know it's bullshit because of the other timeline. Oh, you're so full of it, Alice.
Why am I the only one getting the 3rd degree here?
Because you put my life in danger.
Look at those results. 2 other people just tried to kill someone.
Fi and Dio.
Yes. If Dio had chosen Ally, Fi would have killed Tenmyoji.
But that's fine. Those two don't trust each other. And they shouldn't.
And if she'd chosen Ally, Dio would have killed her.
As messed up as it sounds, like that's a mutual like distrust of each other. It's actually kind of more honest, really.
I don't want to be rude, but it looks like Clover and Kay tried to trick one another. Not that it seems to have worked. If either one had chosen Ally, the other one would have 9 BP right now.
Everyone is trash except for me and Luna. Because Luna didn't vote, and I did it as a second go around because Alice killed me. That's my excuse. Moral high ground. Hell yeah. I turned to look at the results again. Before I'd only looked at my own. I hadn't realized that there was only one word across all the roster. Betray. Whatever trust we'd managed to build had fallen apart. Everyone was suspicious of everyone else. Had it been the bombs? Or had it been something else? Whatever the reason, if it kept up, we'd never manage to escape. I'd be trapped in a cycle of 0-point rounds for the rest of our life. Or we'd be trapped in a cycle of 0-point rounds for the rest of our lives. Something had to be done. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. Alright guys, pay attention. You've probably already figured this out, but we can't keep going like this. If we don't start being a little more trusting, we're never gonna get out of here. We need to work together. I might as well have been talking to a wall.
My apologies, Sigma, but I need to think on something for a bit. I would appreciate being left alone.
Okay.
I'll be leaving too. Things are getting a little too intense here for my delicate constitution. Sorry.
Deal.
Well, in that case...
At 2-5?
Yeah, sorry.
Without another word, she turned and left the warehouse. So this is the, like, everybody hits everybody timeline. Oh, man. Okay, interesting that this route and this one both stop at the same point as what would be an AB room game. That's interesting.
See? There's your answer. In the end, everyone's just thinking about themselves. So I would appreciate it if you could not treat me like I'm the only villain here. Come on, Clover. Let's go.
Hold on! I'm coming! Are you feeling okay? I was really worried, you know?
I watched them walk away, Clover practically jumping with delight to have Alice back. Before long, they reached the yellow door and disappeared beyond it.
Everyone's gone.
Congratulations, Luna. You, Quark, and Temuji are the only good people this round. And Quark and Temuji are only good because they didn't get to vote. You are going to leave too?
No,
Are you sure? I chose Betray.
I know. But I still believe in you, Sigma. I think your hand must have just slipped or something, right?
My chest hurt. When I blinked, I felt something hot and wet prick the corners of my eyes. Luna, I bit my lip. Before I could think of anything to say, the metallic rumble of the doors closing echoed throughout the warehouse.
The Ambidex gates have closed. Round 3 of the Ambidex game will be the Star Round.
So how come Old Lady, potentially June, only showed up in one of the timelines? What's different about what we've done? I don't know.
Star keys are required to open the gates. There is no set. The Ambidex.
We've seen this a bunch of times. As many times as we want, huh?
Yes, as long as we have the star keys. That means we can keep playing the AB game over and over, too. Sigma? Could you show me your bracelet?
Why?
Do you remember what Zero Jr. said?
As soon as the gates close, your colors get all shuffled up automatically. The parent solo assignments hop around a bit too.
Yeah, I remember. Let's see here. I'm a cyan pair. What about you?
I'm a magenta pair.
I wonder what the others are.
They could be anything, I suppose. We won't know until we have a look.
We've got about 80 minutes until the next set of chromatic doors open. So what should we do now?
Everyone else has gone off on their own.
Yeah. Physically and emotionally. I really don't like how this is going. It won't matter how many times we repeat the AB at the AB game if nobody trusts anybody else. We'll never be able to get out of here.
Maybe it would help if we all had a common goal. Something to unite our hearts and minds.
Yeah, but we've already got something like that. We all want to get out of here. That seems like a pretty clear goal to me, but everybody chose betray. Including me.
Well, what if we have an enemy?
An enemy?
Yes, a common foe. Like the person who set the bombs, for instance.
After coming back from the lab, I told her about the bomb while she gave Alice and Quark the Accelerate. Yeah, that might work. If we can figure out which one of us planted those bombs, then everybody else would work together against them. Are we gonna hit another lockup point?
Right.
But how do we figure out who it is?
Do you have any clues?
Clues, huh? That's right. The memory card. I pulled it out of my pocket and held it out towards her.
What's this?
I told you, a memory card. It was under the bomb we found in the lab. I think whoever set the bomb dropped it.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know what's on it, though. We couldn't find any kind of memory card reader.
I guess we can't really use it then. Oh, wait a second. You know what? I think I might have seen something.
Huh?
Yes, I remember. The infirmary. I saw it when I was searching the infirmary with Theo and Quark. There was a memory card just like that one.
Then,
Yes, I think we can see what's on it. The computer there should be able to read it.
Luna and I exploded into the infirmary, nearly running into Alice, Clover, and Tenmyuji. Quark was there as well, of course, but he was just as we'd left him, asleep on the bed.
What are you doing here?
I opened my mouth to retort, then thought better of it. If I really wanted people to start trusting each other, well, real change starts at home. As quickly as I could, I explained the second bomb and the memory card, and how we'd come to the infirmary in hopes that we could discover the contents of the ladder.
Okay.
Then stick it in already!
Go ahead.
Right. Just as Luna had said, there was a small slot under the screen, exactly the size to fit a memory card. Within moments, the screen was filled with what appeared to be random letters. What is this?
6 rows, 22 letters each.
It looks like the odd rows use one set of letters, and the even rows use another set.
In other words, the first 2 rows just repeat.
Yeah.
Is this some kind of code or something?
Doesn't look random to me. I think there might be a pattern. I just don't know what it is.
Was there anything else on there?
No, it doesn't look like it.
So all we get is this gibberish? Hey, Alice, you haven't said anything for a while. What's up?
Does any of this look familiar to you, Clover?
What do you mean?
Have you seen something like this before? Maybe during your training?
Training.
This is...
So you do recognize it.
All right, knock it off, you two. How about you share it with the rest of the class?
Alice sighed and stretched her neck from side to side.
I believe this is an encoded message from a terrorist organization.
Explain.
What?
They call themselves the Myrmidons.
Excuse me?
What are the Myrmidons?
Put simply, they're a bunch of thugs who are trying to destroy or dismantle most of human civilization.
So this thing we're looking at, you think it's theirs?
Well, they have a number of different codes, but I do think this is one of them.
Then the bomb? It was set by one of the Myrmidons, wasn't it?
Yes. Well, I can't say for sure, of course, but it seems likely.
Damn. I've got a ton of questions for you. But let me start with this one. What the heck does that thing say?
I don't know.
What?
How am I supposed to decode it? I don't have the key. Without a key, it would take literally hundreds of years to decode.
Would it though?
What about you, Clover?
Well, if Alice doesn't know how, I sure don't.
See,
Not much we can do then. We can come back to that code stuff later. I've got another question. Alice, Clover, who the hell are you? Why do you know about this code?
That's...
You told me your job was to eliminate enemies of the state or something like that. Just what the hell kind of job is that? I think it's time you told us what... you do.
Sorry, but I can't.
Oh, fuck off. Why not?
Because you might be one of them. You might be the person who set the bomb.
That's idiotic. Of course I'm not.
Really? And where's your proof? For all I know, you're my enemy. I can't tell you anything.
I'm not your enemy. I'm your ally. I'm your friend. I just want all of us to get out of here. Just please tell us. Please. We need to find out who did this so we can all escape. But we all have too little information. We need your help. Fine. If you won't tell us about yourself, then just tell us about the Myrmidons. What else do you know about them?
I'm sorry.
Before I could blink, she leapt up and ran out of the room. Hey, wait, Alice. I took off after her.
How long are you going to keep following me?
Until you tell me what you know.
Then why don't you just ask Clover?
Clover?
You already know she works with me.
Well, yeah.
Then why don't you...
I wanted to hear it from you.
Why?
That's a good question. Remember the crew quarters, or this garden? We got paired up for 2 separate rounds. That means we've spent more time with you than anybody else here. Maybe that's it. I guess I'm just curious about you.
What are you talking about?
Oh, that's a new animation. We've not seen that one before. She spun around to hide it, but I caught a blush of red on her cheeks. We walked down the path to where it ended, next to the pond. I stayed silent. Alice sat down on the bench. We gazed at the smooth surface of the pond for several minutes before she began to speak.
You don't hate me?
What? Why?
I tried to kill you.
You mean in the AB game?
Yes. I was so scared. Who wouldn't be? Kidnapped and locked up, forced to play some sort of bizarre game. And then we found that bomb. I know I probably sounded calm, but as soon as we found that thing, all I wanted to do was run away from it as fast as I could. Things just went downhill from there.
What do you mean?
I remember hearing that Quark had collapsed and running to the infirmary with everyone else. When I got there, I realized I couldn't understand what anyone was saying. And everything looked... I don't know how to describe it. It was like watching a video on fast forward, only it was real.
Yes. A first-hand account of the Radical 6 symptoms.
Then I started to feel like... It's hard to explain. I guess you could say I didn't feel like I was myself, and it only got worse.
That was probably the Radical 6.
Yes, I think so. I don't remember much after that. But when I woke up in the infirmary, suddenly all that fear was back. So all I could think about was getting out of this place as fast as I could. It never even crossed my mind that it could kill you. God help me, even if it had, I don't think I would have cared. See? I'm horrible. You hate me, don't you? Just do it.
What? Do what?
Kill me. Get it over with.
What the hell, Alice? I'm not gonna kill you. I don't even hate you.
You're lying. I could have killed you. I would have killed you.
Come on, calm down. No one's killing anyone. A single tear rolled down Alice's cheek. Then another and another, leaving shining lines across her face. When I reached out, I saw her tense just slightly. Slowly, I brushed my thumb across her cheek and off, taking the tears with it.
Why are you doing this? You know, you kind of remind me of my father.
That's who you were after, right? The people who killed your dad?
Yes.
Did they have anything to do with those myrmidons?
Will you promise not to tell Clover that I cried?
Come on.
If you keep your mouth shut, I'll tell you what you want to know. About myself. And about the Myrmidons. Deal?
Deal. Sure. My lips are sealed.
Really?
What, crying? I don't remember any crying.
Good. All right then.
Alice took a deep breath and began. This is going to be Alice's ending, isn't it? My father is Egyptian. My mother is French. They met while my mother was studying Egypt on vacation and married shortly thereafter. Where are we on the floor chart? Oh, still a bunch of ways. Fairly high up. When I was 3, we all moved to the US. My father was a scientist and his field was cloning. He was recruited by an American lab, which was why we moved. Both my parents had used English around me from the time I was born, so I didn't have any problems adapting to the life in the United States. By my 9th birthday, we'd been there for 6 years. That was when it happened. In the middle of the day, my mother showed up at school. Her eyes were red and puffy, but she didn't say anything to me on the drive home. When we arrived, there were several policemen there to greet us. My father had always been a very punctual man, and when dinner time came and went with no sign of him, even I began to realize something terrible had happened. It wasn't until several years later that I finally learned the truth. My father's lab had been attacked by terrorists, and he had been kidnapped. Kidnapped and not killed. Okay. For the rest of my childhood, my mother raised me by herself. I didn't realize it then, but it must have been incredibly difficult for her, as a single mother alone in a country where any relatives were a transatlantic flight away. She did her best not to let me see it, but every so often, when she thought she was alone, the mask would fall away, and in every line of her face, I could see the exhaustion and loneliness. As much as I missed my father, it was those moments that made me wish more than anything that he'd never been taken. Fortunately, I was an excellent student and did especially well in math. I earned a full ride scholarship straight out of high school and spent the next several years studying. After graduation, I took a job with the Department of Defense, hoping that they might have the resources to help me look for my father. Okay. So is she not actually the Alice that was on board? I was going to say on board the ship in the first game, but it wasn't really a ship, was it? Wasn't in the facility in the first game? I was immediately assigned to a special office of internal security. Their purpose is to investigate and sometimes deal with terrorist organizations and other serious threats to the state. I could tell my mother wasn't happy about my decision, but she chose to remain silent about it. Eventually, I learned that the terrorist organization that had taken my father was none other than the Myrmidons, although at the time that name didn't mean anything to me. They were suspected of human cloning. Specifically, it was thought that they had been using cloning techniques to copy their most useful members and expand their ranks. It's not really how cloning works. in real life. I assume in science fiction of this game that they're able to clone memories as well. Because otherwise cloning is just cloning the DNA of a person. It's not actually making an exact copy of a person. The Myrmidons apparently believed that they could use cloning to create a new race of humans. Now at last, I knew the reason for my father's abduction. The commander of the Myrmidons is a man named Left. Okay. We know his name and his gender, but not his appearance or his age. Okay, so Left is going to be somebody... It's either going to be one of the players or somebody from the first game, I assume. The Myrmidons are closely associated with a cult known as Free the Soul. We believe that Free the Soul provides their funding. But trying to pin any kind of misdeeds on the cult's leader, a man named Brother, is like trying to nail Jello to a wall. Brother is supposed to be fairly advanced in years, but rumors say he is so old that he can't even get out of bed. Unfortunately, his mind seems to be as sharp as ever. Is K Brother? Is he actually like an old man in a exosuit to keep him spry, maybe? At that point, I hit a wall. I knew the Myrmidons had been behind my father's kidnapping, but that was all I could learn about them. Then, one day, I got a tip that some of them were hiding in a building in the Nevada desert. Okay! Yes, let's get to why she was in the 999. I headed out immediately. Yeah, there she is. That's the shot of her from the end of the first game. On the way there, my car had some engine trouble and stalled out. I was trying to decide what to do when an SUV appeared out of nowhere. I'll give you one guess as to who was behind the steering wheel. Clover. That was the first time we met. Okay, so she was on her way to the facility. She wasn't already there and defrosted. Okay, so was it just a random coincidence that people were talking about All Ice Alice? That there just happens to be an Egyptian, a woman of Egyptian descent, wearing very clearly Egyptian clothing, called Alice, that was going to the facility? That's like weirdly coincidental. Like that's... Okay. There were 4 other people in the car with her. When I asked them about what they were doing, there were 4 other people in the car with her, and when I asked them what they were doing, I got what was just about the last answer I'd expected. They told me they'd been locked up inside the very building I'd been on my way to investigate, and that they were currently in the pursuit of the people who had kidnapped them in the first place. My priorities shifted very quickly. After a short discussion, I convinced them to allow me to come along. My hope was to find the people they were chasing, who I was certain were the Myrmidons. In the end, however, we were unable to track them down. In fact, I still don't know where they might have gone. Yeah, June didn't really seem like she was part of like a weird cult thing, so I don't know. Santa maybe, but June not so much. Eventually, I took Clover and her companions to the SOIS headquarters. We decided that involving the police would only complicate things. After some questioning, it was determined that the people who had instigated this particular event were not connected to the Myrmidons. Okay, thank you. We did, however, discover that the mysterious disappearance and subsequent reappearance of several children 9 years prior was connected to Free the Soul. Okay. Okay. There was also a 6th person in the SUV, although they weren't riding in it per se. Ace in the trunk. A middle-aged man who I'll just call H for now had been bound and placed in the trunk. According to the other 4, He had been behind the disappearance of the children 9 years earlier. We also learned that his pharmaceutical company, a major player in the world stage, was effectively controlled by Free the Soul. Okay, so they're adding extra context to the first game here. More specifically, I suppose, that H was a member of Free the Soul and very committed to their cause. So why had he kidnapped all those children? Apparently, it had been part of an experiment designed to test the ability of certain people to access what's called the morphogenic field. I don't imagine you've ever heard of it before, so I'll try and give you a quick rundown. Simply put, these people can access a sort of field that allows their consciousness to resonate with the consciousnesses of certain other people. To be honest, it might be simpler to just call it telepathy. The SOIS had heard of this particular ability before and had actually used it in a number of investigations, so I wasn't surprised to learn of its existence. God, my brain is just switching down, turning down now. I think I'm sundowning. I was shocked, however, to learn that these experiments had been carried out by members of Free the Soul. If that was the case, then Brother must have known about it. The thought of him discovering a way to control and harness that power was terrifying. It wasn't too long after the incident in Nevada that another tip about the Myrmidons crossed my desk. This time it claimed that the Myrmidons intended to launch a large-scale biological terrorist attack. My bosses decided that we needed more agents to deal with a threat of that magnitude, and Clover was recruited. Of all the people you could have recruited, Clover was the one you picked. Because she'd been a test subject in H's experiment, we knew she had the ability to access the morphogenic field, and we wanted to put that ability to use. So did they not pardon me, learn about Junpei being able to access it either? Did they just not reveal that to the SOIS? After several months of training, she was sent on her first mission. She would be tasked with the infiltration and investigation of the Myrmidon cloning lab. I was assigned to be her commanding officer. I hoped that our investigation might give me a lead on my father's whereabouts. At last I had a chance to find out what had happened to him. I wouldn't let that chance pass me by. Perhaps that was what kept me from noticing the truth. The whole operation was a trap. The lab was a fake and Clover was captured almost immediately. I got there as fast as I could, but when I arrived the building was only an empty shell. All of the conspirators who had pretended to be researchers and the like had already fled. I searched frantically for Clover until at last, in the basement room, I found her, wearing different clothes than the one she's wearing now. So did Zero change her clothes for her? She had been tied to a chair, but on the floor next to her was another body. It was my father. He looked as if he'd just been dumped there, and when I got to him, his body was already cold. But was it really your father though, or was it a clone of your father? He was covered in ugly, dark business. He was covered in dark, ugly bruises. It wasn't until much later that I learned he died from ruptured organs and internal bleeding. They had beaten him to death. As soon as Clover had been captured, a Myrmidon in the mask had come to visit her. He'd said that unless she was willing to end up like my father, she would leave them alone and tell her masters at the SOIS to do likewise. In retrospect, they must have known who I was and who my father was. That was why they killed him. But had they though? Perhaps they thought they were sending a message to me. Or that once he was gone, I'd lose my reason for chasing them. They were very, very wrong. I took Clover with me and left. I tried to console myself with the fact that I had, at least, been able to save her. Sometime later, I received a call from the coroner. He told me there was something I needed to see. There in the morgue was my father, cold and pale on a steel table. I could barely stand to look at him, but the coroner insisted. On his arm were 2 rows of numbers, comprised of 8s and 9s. It took me a moment to recognize my father's handwriting. He had carved them into his own skin. On his chest was another message, but they were letters this time, not numbers. Not many, just enough to make a short sentence. I love you, Alice. That's still a lot to carve into your own chest, to be fair. I broke down crying right there in the morgue. They were the first tears I'd shed since the operation had started, and there was no stopping them. There would be no forgiveness. Not for the monster who had put my father through this. They destroyed my family. I would make them pay, even if I had to die to do it. That night, I made a promise to myself. I would avenge my father. It didn't take long to figure out that the numbers he'd written were latitude and longitude. They pointed to a chemical factory that had been disguised as an abandoned building. Further investigation revealed that it was the mother lode we'd been looking for, the headquarters of the Myrmidons. I think my father must have known how things would turn out. Knowing he was going to die, he'd written the directions to the enemy's fortress on his own body. He'd sacrificed too much for... He'd sacrificed too much to... Oh my god, my brain. Fuck. He'd sacrificed too much for me to waste this opportunity with recklessness. This time, our operation would succeed. This time, I wouldn't let my excitement put Clover or any of my other agents in danger. We took our time, we gathered information, we did our research, and we planned. Finally, we were ready. December 25th, 2028 was going to be the day we finally set foot inside the Myrmidon stronghold. Okay. My earlier thing about Clover's clothes, throw that away. It was months ago. The big time difference, doesn't matter. But then, on the 22nd, only 3 days before the operation was scheduled to begin, a man in a gas mask appeared. Oh, so you inhaled that gas, passed out and woke up here in the AB room?
Yes. Well, there it is. Everything that's happened with the Myrmidons and me. I left a few of the details out, of course, but you get the idea.
Yeah. Thanks. She gave me a sad sort of smile and stood up.
We should go back.
Not yet. Your story explained a lot, but there's still one big question.
Which is?
Who here is a Myrmidon? One of us planted the bombs. And based off the code we found, it's pretty clear that the person is a Myrmidon, right?
Yes.
And I agree that we need to figure out who they are.
What do you propose we do?
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you about. Do you have any clues?
Clues? Well, if I could decrypt that code, it might tell us something, but...
How can we do that?
I told you. We need a key. Without that, it's pointless.
What's the key? Oh, what's a key?
A key is a key. It allows you to sort of unlock a code. Myrmidons usually use this huge string of numbers as a key.
Trying to think if we found any. Wait, a long string of numbers? Could that be... Is this a lockout point? Ah, it is. Okay. Right, we need to find a string of numbers from somewhere. Okay. So, timeline-wise, we've got this branch, the betrayal branch, left on this side. This is us betraying Tenmyuji, I think? I forget who Yeah, it would be Temuji, wouldn't it? So this is the last branch of his side of stuff, which we will do next time, because I think this is going to take a while to go down this entire thing. I have a feeling it's going to unlock at least one of these locks, maybe. Not sure. Yeah, that's us needing... That's us dying from the bracelet. This requires who planted the bombs, who planted the bomb, string of numbers. And those are the 4 locks we have at the minute. So that bomb one is going to unlock 2 different... Yeah, it counts as different locks though. Even though it requires the same information. Okay. So yeah, since this is going to take a while, probably like half a stream's worth, and we've already been going for a bit, what I'll do is I'll wrap up for tonight. I'll continue this next time. So yeah, that's going to be it for tonight. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Cheers. Bye.